I am Dong 老师, Dong Yongying from Xidian University. Now, today we will give you the second virtual field trip, the Emperor Qin Shi Huang's Mausoleum, and the exhibition of the underground kingdom of the eternal soaring. And we just gave this virtual field trip last time, now which introduced the terracotta army piece, which included the pit number 1, number 2, and number 3. But as we have introduced, now in addition to these 3 military pieces, there are more burial pieces inside this Emperor Qin Shi Huang's Mausoleum Site Museum. So today, now we will have the 2 museum educators, Ning Di 老师 and Zhao Yuting 老师. Now these 2 museum educators will separately introduce the Mausoleum Site Museum and the exhibition. Now let's have the welcome our Ning 老师 first. Ning 老师, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, 好, Ning 老师. Now you know that we have the students from several schools. Now we have the students from the Pingree schools in New Jersey, Poly Prep School in New York, and St. Luke's School from Connecticut, and also Sitwell Friends School from DC. And we also have a school from the Washington, the state of Washington, but due to the different time zones, now they will view the recorded video. Okay, now guys, during this virtual field trip, should you have any questions, now please leave your messages in our chat room. And me and our colleague, Liu 老师, now who is based in DC, now we will convey, we will help with communication. So you can type your questions in our chat room. Now we can let our museum educators know. Okay, Ning 老师, now can we get started?
Okay, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm Ning Di. I'm the educator from Social Education Department of the Emperor Qin Shi Huang's Mausoleum Site Museum. Last time you are knowing something about the terracotta warriors. Here I have the pictures. You can see in the pictures that is pin number 1, right? I see maybe most of you are knowing something about the terracotta warriors, but here I have the first question. Do you know who's the owner of the terracotta warriors? Who is the owner of them and why he built the terracotta warriors? Well, the man is Qin Shi Huang, the emperor, and we called him the first emperor in China. He is the first one who unified what today known as China, and the first one, the first ruler in Chinese history of the Qin dynasty. And we always called him Qin Shi Huang in Chinese. Qin means Qin dynasty. Shi means the beginning or the first one. Huang means the emperor. So he is the first one unified today known as China. He lives in 2000 years ago. At that time, there are 7 independent, separated states. They all fight to each other and they fight for the controlling of the territory. Here I still have another pictures to show you show you some of them. There are 7 states and they all argue about that. And this one is Qin, and this one is Chu, this one is Han, and that one is Wei, Qin, Qi, Yan, and Zhao. Well, in BC 221, Yingzheng, the original name of the first emperor, he ended that wildfire and unified today known as China. After he unified China, he thought maybe he a marvelous achievement. So he gave himself a title Huangdi, that is the emperor. Before him in China, there was just the king of any states. So when he unified China, there was a Huangdi in China. He unified China like this map. That is the big, large scale of all the territory of this. After he unified China, he still established maybe like the new policy to help him consolidating all of the country and help him to establish all of this of the economy of the country. Like the first, that is very important. Here he unified China. There are 7 states, so every state is writing a different writing script. here, all of these seven writing characters that is from different countries. This Yan, Qi, Zhao, Wei, Han, Chu, Qin. This all of characters means same character that is Ma. After he unified China, he unified all of the characters like this. That is means horses. Ma, that means horses, ma. So they, even though they cannot understand the language they are speaking, but they could recognize they are writing, so they could communicate with each other. And then they still standard the currency. Different people use different currency, and some of like this one like knives. Yeah, like knives. And this one like the shields. And after he unified, he all of the currency like this, a round currency with a square in the middle. We call it 秦范两 in Chinese. We call it 秦范两 in Chinese. So they could doing some business with each other. And then the very important part, he still built the Great Wall like this. Well, the Great Wall in Qin Dynasty is very different with the Great Wall in Beijing, because they are very northern part of the Beijing Great Wall, and they maybe not the bricks Great Wall, and they are made like this, the stone. And some of them may be made by the rammed soil, so they are different with the Great Wall in Beijing. And he still builds the network of the road network, like the highway or freeway like nowadays. They're from all over the country, from Xianyang to all over the country, the capital city of Qin to all over the country. So he made a much marvelous achievement to consolidating all of his countries. And now I am in front of his tomb. Here, you can see this one. It is the first emperor, his tomb mount. And so you can go around and to see the mausoleum complex. So the museum was made up of two parts. The first part is the Terracotta Army Museum, and the next part is the first emperor, his mausoleum state park. His mausoleum is looking like a mountain. That is a very huge area. So in the ancient Chinese characters, in the ancient Chinese record, always cited his tomb mount, like the Lishan or Lishan Mountain. So they always called his mausoleum complex as the Lishan Park. Now we can get in closer to his mount. Okay, let's get in closer to his mount.
Yeah. Indeed. Let's just have the further explanation. So this is a tomb complex. We call it Emperor Shihuang's mausoleum. This is a site park. Now this tomb complex currently expands over an area of 17.6 square miles and contains around 300 burial pits and tombs in total.
Yes.
So right now they are approaching to this mausoleum, but the mausoleum remains unexcavated. It's still protected very well.
No, so we can see this lecture this one. Yeah, from the history record side, when the first emperor is 13 years old, he has came to the throne of the country. So his father has died. He became the king of the Qin states. And that year, he has begun the preparation for his mausoleum construction at that time. And until he died, he's 15 years old. That's still not finished. His son still helped him to doing that 1 to 2 years. So it lasted 38 years for him to build his mausoleum complex. And at that time, it is said there are 720,000 people involved in this construction. Why he devoted so much manpower and a long time to build all of this? That is because in ancient China, people always believed when a man's life ended, his body would go, but his soul, his spirit will still be another world. So he still wants to be the emperor in his afterlife. So he still wants to grasp all of the powers by himself. And he still needs the terracotta warriors to protect him or fight for him. Maybe he made himself an underground palace or maybe underground empire for him.
Yes. So in addition to the military piece, now which we have visited virtually last time, the pin number 1, pin number 2, and number 3, now there were other burial pits, such as the officers, civil officials pit, the acrobat pits, and the bronze chariots and horses, the pit of the bronze chariots and horses, that is for his transportation in his afterlife. So in total, as I have said, there were 300 burial pits and tombs altogether constitute of this big tomb complex. So imagine that is 17.6 square miles. And the
that
military
is very large scale.
Yeah, the terracotta army pits are in the east of this mausoleum, of this tomb. That is about 1.5 kilometers. So, so for the visitors to visit this big museum, now the Terracotta Army Museum is the first stop, and second one, don't forget to go to this Mausoleum Site Park, and you can see the different piece of this complex. Okay, so thank you, Ying Lao Shi. And this is a brief introduction of this Mausoleum Site Park. And as Ying Lao Shi has introduced, now Ying Zheng was the name of this Emperor Qin Shi Huang. Now he was born during during a tumultuous time in Chinese history, known as the Warring States period. Now during this period, the separate states of China continuously fought each other and for the land and the political control. So politics were dominated by 7 states in particular, the Han, Qi, Zhao, Wei, Chu, Yan, Qing, which Ying Lao Shi just introduced. So in order to, after he unified China for the first time in 221 BC, to enforce unity, now Qin Shi Huang standardized the system of the measures, the ways, currency, and the written language across his empire. He also adopted a kind of philosophy, now which is called the legalism. That is a very strict discipline. Now this discipline was introduced by one of the Chinese ancient philosopher. This is the philosophy is legalism. So it's a way of ruling based on the theory that human beings are selfish and short-sighted and need a strong ruler, form laws and severe punishment to keep them in line. So with the guidance of these laws and the punishments, it was so that everyone would work hard in the interest of the empire. So now you can understand now why we had have heard that now he is a harsh ruler, he had books burned, the scholars executed and instituted heavy taxes and conscribed laborers for his large infrastructure projects, just because he wanted to enforce his unity, unity of this country. China was first unified by Emperor Qin Shi Huang. So that is why we saw that he is so great. He is eternal soaring. So that is why, and he just had this underground kingdom built for him in his afterlife. Okay, now let's just switch to our another museum educator, Zhao Laoshi, Zhao Yuting Zhao Laoshi. Now right now, Zhao Laoshi and his team is standing in front of this exhibition of this underground kingdom of this eternal soaring. And just because there are more than 300 burial pits and tombs that we couldn't visit them one by one. So Zhao Laoshi will show you different terracotta figures and different artifacts that were excavated from these 300 pits, and we'll give you a general introduction of this underground kingdom of this Emperor Qin Shi Huang. Okay, Zhao Laoshi, welcome.
Hello, is the voice clear?
Yes.
Good morning, students and teachers. My name is Zhao Yuting, and I'm an educator from Emperor Qin Shi Huang's Mausoleum Site Museum. Today, I will guide you through a new exhibition, the exhibition of the Eternal Sovereign. This year marks the 5th anniversary of the discovery of the Terracotta Army. And this exhibition is designed to showcase the other remarkable artifacts found in the mausoleum. And now let's get inside into the exhibition hall, and I'll introduce to you some remarkable artifacts and the representative artifacts found in the mausoleum. Let's get inside into the exhibition hall. This way, please. Entering into the exhibition hall, the first thing that we are going to see is right on my hand. This is the digital model of the mausoleum, of site of the first emperor. And the mausoleum, my colleague just introduced to the students, and it's historically known as the Mount Li, and it was called the Mausoleum Park during its time. It's the burial place of Emperor Qin Shi Huang. He's the first emperor in Chinese history, and it remains the largest and the most richly endowed burial tomb from any dynasty in China. According to a book called Records of the Grand Historian, written by Sima Qian. By the way, Sima Qian was a historian from Western Han Dynasty. It said that the construction of the mausoleum started when emperor was 13 years old. That's the year he ascended to the throne, and lasting 38 years, and over 700,000 laborers were involved into this huge project. And the middle area is the burial mound of the emperor. And this is the core of the whole architectural complex. Even though the tomb has not been excavated, we have no clue what's inside it, what's the coffin and the imperial palace look like. But however, this is the most important area, and it's been protected well by the museum. The imposing tomb mound and underground structure actually symbolize the imperial palace used by the first emperor during his lifetime. And there are two city walls, the inner and outer city walls surrounding the burial mound. So those two city walls represent the imperial inner and outer cities. And the archaeological excavations since 1960 has been ongoing, and it's already revealed that over 300 burial pits and tombs were found in this huge area. Look, the mausoleum is located at the south of the Mount Li and north to the Wei River, which is a tributary of the Yellow River. So according to the feng shui theory, this kind of location could help the emperor's soul to rest in peace. And this is about his mausoleum. Now I'm going to talk a little about the life of first emperor. My colleagues just mentioned the first emperor for you, so I'll make it quick. And I'll show you a picture first. This man, he is the first emperor. And the map of the warring, he was born in 259 BC. You already know that time was known as the Warring States period of China. And China was not a country yet. It's divided into 7 states, for example, like Qin, Chu, Wei, Han, Zhao, Yan, and Qi. A detail is that the 6 states, they were all at the east, excuse me, of the Qing states. So that's the reason why the soldiers in the terracotta army pits, they're all facing to the east, because this is the direction of their ancient enemies. And when Ying Zheng was a young boy, he ascended to the throne when he was 13 years old, and he always wanted to conquer the other 6 states. So it took him quite a long time to make the plan. When he was 29 years old, he finally started war, and the military order of the military conquest was Han. Here, the weakest state, and Zhao, Wei, Chu, Yan, to Yanqi. So in the year of 221 BC, he unified them all and he created the empire, Qing Empire. And in that year, 221 BC, that's the beginning of the Qing dynasty. When he died because of the disease at the age of 50 on his 5th inspection tour to Shaqiu, it's a place which very close to Beijing, to nowadays Beijing. And after, before unification, each state, they had their different systems of weights and measures and currencies, different languages. So after unification, Yingzheng, he standardized all the systems. And now let's take a look at the second artifacts right here. This way. In this showcase, it's a bronze ding found in the pit 9901 in the Shihuang's Mausoleum. Ding was like, it's pronounced, it's spelled D-I-N-G, and it's like an ancient Chinese cauldron. This ding stands to 61 centimeters tall and weighs 212 kilograms, earning it the title the first ding found in Qin Shi Huang's Mausoleum. Ding in ancient China, it was originally a cooking vessel for boiling meat. And by the way, it adorns with this intricate and elaborate patterns on the surface. This is a symbol of the power and authority. So the ancient times, the ding was used as a cooking vessel for boiling meat, and with the time goes, the ding became a ritual vessel for sacrifices. And after 9 dings were casted by Yu the Great, it became a symbol of power and authority. But what was the function of this ding? Was it just a ritual vessel for sacrifices, or was it a thing that used for performance? Because pit 9901, it's an acrobatic pit, and over 30 acrobats were found in this pit. So maybe this thing was used by the acrobats to do some act like thing lifting, just like today's weight lifting. Okay, now this way, please. Just like we mentioned, after unification, emperor, the first emperor. Yes.
Yeah. Now let me just
okay.
give the students a further explanation. Now, Zhao just introduced the pit 9901. Now, there were, as we have introduced, so many burial pits and tombs. Now, for the military terracotta army pits, now we have the number 1, number 2, and number 3. But for the other pits, now because their functions of the pit haven't been confirmed by the archaeologists, now these terracotta army were only discovered by chance in 1974. So the excavation and research about this mausoleum is still ongoing. So the archaeologists, they named the newly discovered pit as a number, such as the pit 9901, which means that now this pit was discovered in 1999, in January 1991. Now the ding, this artifact was discovered in this pit. Okay, so this is introduction about the name of this pit. Okay, Zhao Laoshi, now we have another question. When was the mausoleum found, and was it found on purpose? Were archaeologists looking for it at the time it's found by accident?
Yes, it was found in purpose, and when 1976, and the workers, they were doing some excavations around the mausoleum, and that's when they found this tomb of the first emperor.
Yes. Yes, so the terracotta army, the fragments of the terracotta warriors were founded by the local farmers when digging a well. So after 1974, the researchers, the archaeologists began to do the research around this terracotta army pits, and they found this mausoleum in 1976. Okay, now Zhao Laoshi, please continue.
Okay. So just as we mentioned, after the unification, Emperor Qin Shi Huang implemented a number of policies to consolidate his newly acquired territory, including the system of weights, measures, and the writing languages and the currency. In this showcase, there are some currencies that used at that time by the people before and after the unification. Some of them looks like knives, just like the number 7 and 8. So these types of coins were used in the Yan and the Qi states before unification. Some of them looks like the common farming tool, just like this one, 3 to 5. And these 3 were used by the Han, Zhao, Wei 3 neighboring states. However, few coins could be easy to carry or to deal in. So after unification, Qin Shi Huang figured a simplest solution to solve that problem. He had his coinage passed into round circles, just like the one that we are looking now, into these little circles with a square hole in the center. And these types of coins could easily be threaded and for ease of use. There are 2 words on the coins. Is that clear? So it's called 半两, and this refers to its weight. It's about 8 grams. The standardization of the currency can be both regarded as as a political, the political the authority of the first emperor, and also can be regarded as an advanced economic development. Okay. After we saw the coins, let's go to. Yes.
Zhao Laoshi, we have a question from the student. Now, what is the so what's the material of this qin ban liang?
Bronze.
Okay, so there are different bronze, right?
What do you mean?
The yellow bronze, the white bronze, but the main material is a bronze of this currency,
yes.
of the coins. Okay, so now the coins, the qin ban liang, we know that qin is the name of the Qin dynasty. Ban liang means half liang is the ancient Chinese measurement. So this is the qin ban liang. It continued in circulation with some adjustments in weight during the later dynasties. So after the Qin dynasty, we have the Han dynasty, and Han dynasty continued to use this qin ban liang. So, okay, thank you. Now, can we continue?
Yes. Please follow me to display. There are over 300 barrel pits and tombs found around the mausoleum. 4 of them are displayed to the public, like the Terracotta Army barrel pit, which is the famous one, and another one is the pit 9901 we already mentioned, and the pit of bronze chariots and horses, also the pit number 6. And now we are going to see some figures found in pit number 6 right here in these 2 showcases.
Now, Zhao Laoshi, can you ask the
yes.
questions? Can you ask the students the questions to have our students observe first, and then ask them to tell us the difference between this terracotta figure and the terracotta figures in the terracotta army pits?
Okay, so I'll give the students some time to observe them first, and after that you can just type something that you think the difference between those figures with the terracotta warriors, and then I'll explain the pit number 6 and the and these types of figures.
Okay, now students, please type your answers. Can you see that? Observe that. What's the difference? Name at least 3 aspects of the difference. The figure is wearing different clothes and its hair is different. That's good. 赵老师有个学生说啊 ，this figure is wearing different clothes. 衣服不一样，头发也不一样。
Yes,
What else?
they wear long robes.
Okay, so for this terracotta, as we have introduced last time, it's a kind of earthenware. So we have the terracotta warriors and horses. All together, we call them terracotta army. Now that only refers to the terracotta warriors, but for this figure, we also call him terracotta figures. We will give you the name of these terracotta figures, but this terracotta, now just because it's so famous, so it has been used as a proper name for all of the figures now which were discovered in the Terracotta Army Museum. Okay, Zhao Laoshi, can you tell the students the answers?
Okay,
now,
but before that, can I speak now?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Please. Before I introduce this figure, I would like to give you some information about the pit which found this figure. It's right here. There is a picture. So this pit is called pit number 6, and it's the 6th pit that's found in 2000. And it's very small, only covers an area around 410 square meters. It's located in the inner city. We mentioned there are 2 city walls around the tomb of the first emperor. And in this place, 12 pottery figures were found in the front chamber. This is a front chamber, and here is the sloped entrance to the pit. In this place, 12 pottery figures, a pottery jar, and remains of a wooden chariot, and 4 axe-like bronze weapons were found. In this place, it's called the rear chamber. The remains of 24 horses were found right here. And among these 12 figures, displaying 4 right here, 4 of them are the civil charioteers, and the others are the figures we just saw. We call them the 袖手 figures. Take a look at this one. 袖手 means the hands in sleeves. So he wears a long robe, a long cap, and the most obvious difference between him and the terracotta figure is that on his wrist there is a belt, and on the right wrist there are 2 things. We call it the knife and a grindstone. It's just right here. So what did he do at that time? There are a lot of guessing, and we think he probably be the civil officials who worked in the court, and the court maybe is the pit number 6, so it could be symbolized as the central government office. And that's the biggest difference between him and the terracotta warriors. By the way, the people, this knife was functioned as an eraser, because people wrote on bamboo or wood at that time. Paper had not been yet invented. So this is for peeling off round infract notes on wood or bamboo. Is that clear?
Yes, so this is a knife and knife sharpener. Knife and knife sharpener. The knife sharpener, just like what we do today. If you have written something wrong, now you use a sharpener to modify it, to correct it. Yes. So what's the name of this terracotta figure? Have you got that?
We call him the 袖手 figures, and 袖手 means the hands in sleeves. So you can also call it the figure with hands in sleeves.
So we call it 袖手 figure. Is also a kind of civil officials figure. Civil officials figure. Now, can we have a look at his hat? Yes, one student asked,
yes.
What's the figure's rank? Now, we have introduced 2 tell the ranks of this terracotta figure, you can say the hat. Now he wears a long cap. He wears a long cap, so which means that his rank is high. He's not a common officer. He's a official, civil official, might worked in the imperial palace.
He, by the way, he shares the same rank with the middle-ranking officers we saw in the Terracotta Army Pit number 2.
Yes, middle-ranking officer. He has the same rank with the middle ranking officer. Okay, so this is a long cap. The hat he wears is called long cap. In Chinese, is 长板. Okay, that's good questions. Now, can we go to the next one?
Yes, this way, please. Next, we are going to introduce a remarkable artifact found just 20 meters away from the first emperor's burial mound, the bronze chariots and horses. In December 1980, these 2 bronze chariots and horses were found just 20 meters away from the burial mound of Emperor Qin Shi Huang. When they were found, they were broken into 3,000 pieces, and it took the workers 8 years to rebuild them. And now they look just like the vehicles that used by the first emperor during his lifetime, but just half the size of their original scale. And the entire structure was cast in bronze, and the gold and silver decorations, as well as painted decorations. In total, it's estimated that the gold and silver pieces on these 2 bronze chariots weigh over 14 kilograms. And the number 1 chariot, we call it the also called a high chariot, is right here. Because the charioteer is standing on the chariot. Take a look. And on the carriage, there is a case. So the arrows and the a shield could be placed in that case. And because this charioteer is equipped with a bronze sword, so this chariot probably be a leading chariot. So it goes to the number 1 chariot. And the number 2 chariot just looks like this. Sorry. It just looks like this. I got the wrong picture. I'll explain him first, and after the animation goes to the number 2, I'll tell you.
Okay. The second chariot. Yiting, now let me just help you. So now, guys, now what you are watching is exhibition of the now look at this one. Yeah, now this one is exhibition, not a video. It's exhibition during this museum of bronze chariots and horses. Now, Xiaohe, can we have a look at the 铜车马？我们来看铜车马。
This one.
Now this is museum. 铜车马。No， 我们来看一下铜车马的那个展览。现在有观众。Yes, this one. So they just had a camera now just to share with the current visitors now what is going on in that museum. As we have introduced, this museum complex is so big, it's so large. This museum is inside this Emperor Qin Shi Huang site park. It is a newly built museum. Now, this museum is called the Museum of Bronze Chariots and Horses. So now when the people visit this exhibition, they know now they know what it looked like, during that museum. So this is the second chariot. Is called the sitting chariot. Now, because can you see the carriage after that, after these 4 horses?
Right here.
Sitting one.
And the owner can sit inside in this carriage. And there are a door at the back for the owners to get inside into the chariot, and there are 3 windows on each side. So those windows can still be easily opened and closed even today. Is it amazing? Besides, both the chariots were painted with bright colors, just like this. Take a look at the animation, and the colors were include white, black, and green, and many other beautiful colors. But the primary color was white. Take a look at the horses. And each chariot weigh over 1,000 kilograms. The artifacts from the workers from Qin dynasty, they used so many techniques to build these chariots. For example, like the casting, welding, and inlaying. So that's why we can see a lot of bronze was decorated with inlays of gold and silver, just like right here on the shaft of the umbrella. There are gold and silver inlaying technique widely used. Overall, these 2 chariots, they were the largest, the most complex and complete examples of the bronze chariots and horses found in the Chinese archaeological history. So they earning the title of the crown of the bronze.
Okay.
Shall I continue?
Bronze chariots and horses. There were 2 sets of the bronze and chariots. The unique one in China so far.
So we're going to see the last one, a figure found in the acrobatic pit. This way, please. These 3 showcases shows the figures found in pit 9901. You remember where unearthed bronze thing we mentioned, the first thing in Qin Shihuang's mausoleum. And this pit was called pit 9901. I'll introduce the pit first right here. There is a picture on the wall. So as you can see, it's been burned and destroyed badly, just as the terracotta warriors. But it's still a mystery about who did this. Maybe in the end of the Qing dynasty, someone got inside into the pit and set a fire. So this pit is also not very big. It covers an area around 800 meters, and consists of 3 tomb passages. The first one, second, and the third one. In this tomb passage, there were 30 acrobats were found in here. Acrobats, these figures in this pit, why we call it acrobats? Because they were considered to be the entertainers who performing acrobatic shows for the soul of the first emperor in the underground world, and that's why we call them the acrobats. Among those different types of acrobats, by the way, do you want to observe them first and gave me some notes that you found the difference between these figures with the terracotta warriors? You need time?
Yes, 赵老师. Yes,
okay.
Please give students a minute to observe these acrobat figures at first.
Okay.
Observe them carefully and try to type your answers in your chat room. Now, what's the difference between this figure with other figures? What do you think of that? It looks like they are in action. 赵老师有的学生说 it looks like they are in action.
Yes. And anything else?
Anything else? Yes. Diverse body shapes. 不同的这个
Yes. Some of
diverse
them
body
look
shapes.
slim, and the others look strong and tall.
The clothing is very different, less armor-like. Armor 没有穿铠甲。Missing limbs 没有，有的人有的俑没有这个四肢了。Some still have the colors on the clothes. Great observation 有的学生看到了，说是上面还有颜色。
Yes, they were painted originally, just like the terracotta warriors.
Great. Okay, so 赵老师, can you tell the students the answers, the difference? That's great
okay.
answers.
The students, they said were all right. They had colors, and the main colors were black and white, and they wearing the special costume, maybe designed just for performance. And some look just strong and tall, like this one. So he's having his hands like this kind of posture. Maybe he was holding that bronze thing found in this pit and doing something like weightlifting. And among these different, but another difference is that they all wear this short skirt, and most of them have up their chested. That's the difference.
Can we look at the figures? Yeah, the figures itself.
That's right.
Yes. Okay, so they are wearing the skirts, right? Not the armors.
Yes, take a look. Because they are not warriors, they're just like the performers. I'll talk about him first one. I'll talk about him because he's my favorite acrobat. This one found in page 9801, and he looks very slim, with the arms raised and a finger pointing to the sky. Take a look. A single foot on the ground right here. So he's trying hard to keep balance. And have a guess. What do you think he might be holding on his fingertip right here?
Yes. Now what is he holding? Do you know what is he holding?
I'll give you 30 seconds.
赵老师,
it's hard. Okay, I'll explain. The truth is that we actually don't know what he's holding. Probably, we can only guess. Probably be an egg or an apple, or maybe like a plate or like a bowl that you might see in the modern acrobatic show. Is that funny? So he's doing something, and he's like holding something on his fingertip and doing this types of special performance for the soul of the first emperor. And these types of figures, these acrobats provide us the true entertaining life of the Qing dynasty. Okay.
Okay, so this is the acrobats, terracotta acrobats.
Okay, now let's go to see the last pit. This way, please. And this artifact eggs were found in a pit called pit number 7. It's right here. There is a map, and actually there are many aquatic birds found in the mausoleum, about 46 aquatic birds, and they were found in a pit very far away from the burial mound of the first emperor. And this is the layout of the pit number 7.
Okay, yeah. 赵老师, a student asked,
yes.
what are some of the species of the bird? 这些鸟都是什么品种的?
Goose, swans, mainly goose and swan.
Yes. Goose, swan, yeah. They are made of bronze.
And some of them are ducks, just fill ducks.
Mm-hmm.
So these aquatic birds may be trained by the musicians in this pit. And on his hands, he was holding some types of instruments, just like him. So he is the musician who's responsible to train this these birds, water birds.
Okay, now we have a question. Why he made birds as well in his tomb? Because Emperor Qin Shi Huang wants to have everything being buried with him.
Yes.
And be used for him in his afterlife. In the Asian Chinese beliefs, now we have the 视死如视生, that is serve the dead as if they were alive. They want to have another life in his afterlife. Okay, now look at his bird. Why is his statue color look different from the bird's color? Why the statue color? Because the bronze and the chariots, bronze and horses, they are made of bronze. And the terracotta figures, they are made of the terracotta, a kind of earthenware, a clay. Okay, so what we are looking at is a bird. Now look at his mouth, its mouth.
Yes, take a look at the mouth. There is a worm inside the mouth.
Yeah, there's a worm. It's eating a worm. The worm is also made of bronze. So realistic. Yes, very cool, detailed. Yes, one student said that, so realistic. Ancient people are better at art than we are. Yeah, imagine these were made 2,000 years ago. Okay. Okay, I think that,
Yes,
is that the end of the exhibition?
Yes, that's the end of the virtual field visit. And if you have any question, you can type it right now.
Okay. We have a student. We have a question. Is art like that still created today?
I missed.
我们现在还有这种艺术吗?
Yes, for example, like we mentioned the gold and silver laying technique on the bronze chariots. We can still make that today, but it's hard because in the Qing dynasty, involved so many people to do this thing, and their technique was not advanced as today, but they did it so well. So we are still using that art today.
Well. Yeah, the ancient people did well. And yeah, we have this art, but You know that this is just for the burial things. So people don't do that burial things right now. Are there other animals that have been discovered besides the goose and ducks?
Yes. For example, like goats and horses. For example, in many burial pits that we are not displaying to the public, there are many horses, and those horses most of them were buried alive, so probably used for sacrifice.
Yes, so we have the bronze animals. There are also the real animals. They were used for sacrifice. So the horses' bones were discovered. Any more questions?
Yeah.
Okay, now, yes, I think that students have, okay, now which objects did the emperor want buried with him? All of the objects, all of the
Yes.
objects. Yeah, Zhao Laoshi just introduced the layout of this mausoleum. Now, do you remember there were two walls, the inner wall and the outer wall? Now, these two walls just resemble the model of his capital city, Xianyang. So in Chinese, we have 若都邑, just look like the model of the capital. So he wanted to have another emperor, another kingdom in his afterlife. So he buried everything with him. The terracotta soldiers protecting him in the east, the acrobats for doing the performance for him in his palace, and the water birds, the chariots and the horses for his transportation. And there was the ding, right? The ding was used originally for cooking the meat, and also a symbolize of the power and the social power and status. So everything, he just buried everything. That is why the complex expands over 17.6 square miles. Okay, now we have the questions. What are some other materials that have been found? Bronze, silver, gold. Yes, the gold and silver were found on the bronze chariots and horses. They were the decorations. 赵老师对吗？就是除了铜之外，金银是不是也有？
Yes, lots of gold and silver. For example, like the gold and silver camels and gold and silver the figures, but just the small ones, and found in the burial tombs, not the burial pits.
Yeah, the golden, there is a golden camel. Now some of these animals, they have this silver and gold. So they were found in the tombs. Now, you know that burial piece is just for the terracotta figures of these bronze chariots and horses, but tomb were used for the servants of the craftsmen of the other people. After they died, they were buried, so they are called tombs. When the people were died, they were buried. Now they have the sacrifice as well. So now there were the sacrifice being with them, being buried. But for this mausoleum, that is only for this emperor because his tomb is very big. The mausoleum is only used for the emperor, the empress, the king of the queens. Were there any buried with him? The servants.
I'll answer this question. These two questions: were there any servants and any pets buried with him? We found the body of humans, but for now we're still studying it about if they are the servants. And the currently the archaeologists think that probably those dead bodies were mostly laborers, were like the nobles from that dynasty. We have not found the servants, but the pets, we found the pets. For example, like the aquatic birds that we just saw, and we have no clue if there will be any more pets and the servants buried with the first emperor, because I mentioned the tomb where the first emperor was buried is not open, has not been excavated yet. So what's actually inside it, no one knows for now.
Yes, this mausoleum right now is remained unexcavated. For Chinese people, we don't excavate the tomb of the mausoleum on purpose unless there is natural disasters. Now the people will do the rescue excavation. Now for the other burial pits and tombs, now in order for the research, they can do the excavation. But for the mausoleum, now we can see that for this generation, at least for our generation, we don't have the luck to say what is inside in this mausoleum. So we don't know. We don't know a lot about what is inside in this mausoleum. How do the people at the exhibit preserve the artifacts while keeping them untouched and in their rusted condition?
The different artifacts,
have you seen
the different
case, the showing case?
Yes, they were kept in
China,
the showcase.
All of the artifacts are preserved in a glass showing case, so that is keeping them untouched. And inside is glass. They have the temperature and humidities. They are stable, so they can be preserved well. But for the terracotta figures, terracotta warriors and horses, they are, there are no further protection or preservation for them. Right now, they are in the open air. They are all standing in the place. So this museum is working on the way to preserve these terracotta warriors and horses.
38 years to build the mausoleum.
Yeah, 38 years to build this complex, which have involved 720,000 laborers. Okay, I think that, there were so many great questions. You are great, right? 14 to 50, he started right away. Yeah, he took this, he
13.
took this one at 13. When he was 13. When he was 13. Now for the ancient Chinese kings of the emperor, now whenever they came to the throne, they began to construct their mausoleum. Okay, right? And it's great. The students just asked so many questions, great questions. And thank you very much, Zhao Laoshi, for giving us this wonderful virtual field trip. And as Zhao Laoshi and Ning Laoshi has introduced Emperor Qin Shi Huang, after he unified China, he standardized the currency, the characters and everything, right? So for our next virtual field trip is read and write Qin small script. And our museum educators will teach you how to read and write the characters that Emperor Qin Shi Huang standardized. Okay, guys, now see you next time. 赵老师 ，Thank you.
See you.
好，谢谢同学们，再见。